I was recording a podcast yesterday with Bram and Greg from Loveline, and Greg came up with this great saying that I'm now stealing, but giving him credit for in this video, called the halo effect. And what we're talking about is the interview is about Kickstarter. And after going into like what's required of a Kickstarter campaign, I wanted to clarify exactly why people should go through such a big endeavor like a product launch and actually put in the effort, the time, and the resources. And it's because of this halo effect that Kickstarter creates. So in this video, we're going to be talking about some of the tertiary benefits or outside benefits that come from doing a Kickstarter campaign, in case you're kind of on the fence or you're wondering how best to leverage your Kickstarter success after Kickstarter. So, hey guys, welcome to my channel. In this, we of course talk about product launches, e-commerce, and Kickstarter. And also, sometimes you will see my dogs in this video and random plugs like Grogu here. If you're a Star Wars fan, drop that below in the comments because Mandalorian was off the charts this season. But what we have here is I want to talk about in this video the halo effect and some other things. So first things first though, if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, there still is time to enter the giveaway. So until January 25th, which is just a couple of days after this video goes live, I'm going to be giving away three people, 3 funnels and ad copy that we've used to not only market test your product, but it's the exact funnel we used to generate over $100,000 of sales in one day when we went live on Kickstarter. So if you want to enter the giveaway, it's really easy. You just got to A, subscribe to the channel, or B, subscribed already, and comment below. So comment on this video saying #giveaway with your product name. And that's it. And then on January 26th, we draw a winner, and then you may be one of those lucky people. So apart from that, let's jump straight into the episode. So first things first, what exactly is a halo or a halo effect? No, it's not Beyonce's song named Halo, but a halo is something generally that's a ring that sits above angels. And what it stands for, really, a halo is like surrounding effects that happen from one stimulus. So when we look at this, we look at, all right, well, you've done a product launch, and then what are some of the outside benefits off of Kickstarter's platform that happen because of your product launch? So let's look at it. So let's assume you now have a successful Kickstarter campaign. Kickstarter's sales are public. So any products that have been launched in the last 10 years are public record, which means it's a gold mine for product research and also for people to see how well you've done. So Kickstarter in itself, when you have a successful campaign, the metrics you could see are the number of backers you have, which are the number of customers that have backed your campaign, and you also see the amount of pre-orders taken or the amount pledged. And these two metrics are a metric of social proof, which means you can really see who the popular kids are when you go to Kickstarter and what projects are successful and doing really well versus not. And when you have a public product launch on Kickstarter, that has some pretty great benefits. By you tapping into Kickstarter as a traffic source, when you launch your product and you start to get that traction, automatically you're going to have some benefits come to you. You are going to have people asking to be an exclusive distributor. You're going to have wholesalers coming to you. You're going to have retailers coming to you asking to place orders. You're going to have influencers wanting to share your video or interview you for your story on their channel. These are just a handful of things. But apart from the brand building that Kickstarter gives you, you also are going to be really capitalizing on the SEO that Kickstarter has. So for example, when you are just building up your website off of Kickstarter or whatnot, it takes a long time for Google to start ranking and favoring you so that you're going to be on the first page when people type in your product. And it's super important to be first page Google. And especially when you have a brand new product, you may not have the budget to do what it takes to get ranked on Google on your own. So having a channel like Kickstarter, where Kickstarter has so much clout in the industry that for the next 6 to 8 months, Kickstarter is most likely going to be one of the top 2 or 3 search results that someone sees when they type in your product. It's going to rank higher than your own website. This happens because Kickstarter has more longevity. Kickstarter has more trust with Google, and Kickstarter also has the traffic. So SEO benefits alone to help people find you and actually rank above competing products is super, super important, okay? So looking at the halo effect, I want to step back into like, okay, well, how do we create this? Because when I look at why I do what I do, like, I don't see a product launch as just a launch, like a single event. A launch is the beginning of your business. And when done properly, you need to leverage the success of your launch to build your brand. Okay, so we have students posting in our product launchpad group saying like, wow, like this is after their launch, like I'm not even advertising right now, and we're getting 3 to 5 sales every couple of days, and I'm not doing anything. And that is because you, after launch, with the buzz you've created, with the list you've generated, with the PR you've had, and potentially, influencers driving traffic to your site, all those things, all of the benefit of the things you've put in place with your launch are now paying off, and they have the momentum that help you really put your brand on the map. And that's what creating that halo effect is. So I had a conversation with someone a few weeks ago where he's like, well, I don't even care how my Kickstarter does because I just want to get this up and get this selling. And I was like, hey, I want you to look at this in a different setting. Because your Kickstarter campaign is public, you need to you have to look to get a successful Kickstarter, because when you're successful, that is how you market test that. It's how you validate your product with the market to show people that this is like something that people want. And when you execute a proper product launch and you have a successful campaign, because your numbers are public, you become a brand that people want to be around by association. It's kind of like you wanting to be friends with the head cheerleader because she's super popular, okay? And that's what you need. So when you look at the amount of work that goes into a Kickstarter campaign, or even Indiegogo, you may wonder, why am I going to spend so much time on this product launch when I could just launch it on my own website? It's because you need to look at it in terms of the halo effect that Kickstarter is going to be creating for your brand. Versus when you're launching on your own website, or you barely put any effort into the launch, there's no effect. You're literally climbing Everest with no equipment. Okay, I just thought of that metaphor right now. But seriously, like, you need to look at, okay, I got to put in all this work. I need to build this audience. I need to do this crowdfunding campaign. And then my numbers are public, and here's exactly why that's going to benefit me. Because then you use the halo effect as a strategic play in brand building, versus just looking at the launch as its own point in time, as taking all this work as something you just, etc. So apart from that, that's how I want you to look at why you need this. But another point that we talked about on Loveline with Greg and Bram is, it's not, we've talked about the halo effect of putting your brand on the map and SEO benefits if you ranking for, second or third on Google, on first page. We've talked about influencers reaching out. We've talked about wholesale dealers. We've talked about retailers and just opening opportunities for you. But we haven't yet talked about the halo effect of launching on future platforms. So Kickstarter is more and more commonly being used as a launch pad pre-Amazon. So when you get into selling your products online, and this is subject for another video, but I fully believe in multi-channel marketing, which means you will have your product listed on Amazon for sale, you will have your product listed on your website for sale, and Kickstarter is just the gateway for that. So how Kickstarter fits in with everything and how it impacts your ranking on Amazon is that when you do your Kickstarter product launch, and then you have the halo effects happening, and the halo effect means that you now have an audience you could tap into for product reviews. You continue to get that going, and then you're able to take the momentum you've generated off of Kickstarter and then launch on Amazon. And why is that important? Well, Amazon being one of the largest search engines on the planet, you need to be on Amazon now. Otherwise, your competition is going to be stealing your traffic. This is not a video about why you should be on Amazon, but it's a video about how your Kickstarter campaign is going to make sure you are successful on Amazon with that. So when you look at Kickstarter as a stepping stone to bigger things, that is exactly what this is. And then you treat it like a series of launches as opposed to, I'm just going to launch my product somewhere, not bother with the big product launch, and then just have this like really, really horrible uphill battle that takes a lot of time to get momentum. So you want to look at your product launch in terms of the long-term benefit of that halo effect and what else it's going to allow you to do versus looking at it in terms of just the launch itself. Apart from that, that is what I wanted to cover in this video, the idea of a halo effect, because it's not something that people really think of when they get started, but you start to notice it once you launch your product and you quickly turn into a seven-figure brand with that. So I've seen the long-term implications of what a successfully executed Kickstarter launch has, because I've had the pleasure of working with clients from raising money on Kickstarter to then scaling that into a 6-7 figure brand and seeing where they are 2 or 3 years later. And that is powerful, and it's not something that it's something that experience has taught me, and I need you to I want you to really look at it in terms of a strategic play for brand building, because that's what we do. We work with people that want to build 7-8 figure brands that help make people's lives better. And apart from that, guys, if you like this video and if you're looking for a little bit of help with your product launch, either mentorship or just a bit of guidance on strategy, be sure to go down below this video. We do have a free training where it shows you the ins and outs of crowdfunding, and you are actually able to set up a call with myself and the team to talk about your project. So if you're ready to build your brand and you want to talk to a specialist about it, there's a link in the description below. You can also go to, well, the same link, but kirsten.com/free-training. It'll take you there. And apart from that, if you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button so that you get notified of new regular videos that we post every week. Apart from that, love you guys and thank you for watching. Luke, may the force be with you. You like that? Anyway, guys, thank you so much. We'll see you next time. By the way, I also know that this little guy doesn't talk, and I also know that he doesn't need Luke because he comes after Luke. So be sure to watch. Whatever. I've been corrected, so we'll see you guys next time.